Jai Hind everyone. Uh, I'm back again, and this time I'm going to pick up the second poem of Flamingo, that is Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender. Okay, I hope everyone is there with the book. So, first of all, a little bit introduction of the poet. Stephen Spender uh, was a socialist poet. He declared himself as a socialist, and earlier he was follower of communism, but then he got disillusioned and he became a critic of communism, but he went on propagating the idea of socialism all around. In this poem, he highlights the miserable condition of the slum children, and he feels that they also deserve equal opportunity to grow and develop. This poem is basically highlighting on the fact that these slum children, they are deprived of even the basic amenities of life. Their life is full of hardships, and they have various other difficulties in them. And poet is trying to present it. Now, if you look at the poem is divided into four stanzas. So, for your convenience, you can name these stanzas. The first stanza is the picture of the children present in the classroom. Second stanza, the picture of the classroom itself. Third stanza, the living condition of the children in the slum. And the fourth stanza is an appeal by the poet. So let us start. The very beginning of the poem, far, far from the gusty waves. Now this far, far from the gusty waves, gusty, energy. Through this line, the poet wants to say that these children are far away from the joy and happiness of the life. There is hardly any energy in them, and they seem to be very tired or energyless. Then further the poet goes on to say that the hair on their pallor like rootless weed, unkempt hair scattered over their face. He calls it as rootless weed, but actually the poet is trying to say that these children themselves are like rootless weed, unwanted and uncared for. What is done with the weed? They are uprooted and they are thrown. Nobody loves them. Similarly, he feels that these children are uncared and unwanted. And then, one by one, he starts presenting the picture of the children present in the classroom. The first picture, this tall girl with a way down head. A tall girl is sitting with a head bowed down, presenting a picture of someone who is burdened by the hardships, atrocities of life. Second picture is a paper-seeming boy, lean and thin. Metaphor has been used over here. Paper-seeming boy, lean and thin, presenting a picture of someone who is grossly undernourished. With rat's eye, again a metaphor has been used. Rat's eye, as a rat is constantly searching for the food and it is always scared. Similarly, this child who is so lean and thin, presenting a picture of undernourishment, his eyes seem to be searching for the food and they are full of uncertainty. And then he presents the picture of another boy, stunted growth, twisted bone. The growth has stopped. The bones are twisted. You can recognize the disease, that is rickets, suffering from rickets. Reciting his lesson from his desk, father's gnarled disease. He is reciting his lesson. He is reading out the lesson standing near his desk, but the poet feels that his body seems to be reciting the disease which he has inherited from his parents. That's why poet calls him unlucky heir. Now till now, poet has presented a very grim, very sad, very dull picture where there is no hope at all. These children, they have inherited only poverty, hardship, disease, undernourishment, and so on. There seems to be hardly any brightness in their lives. And poet feels that this is a hopeless situation or a hopeless condition. But then, at this point of time, he observes a young child sitting at the back of the class. Now here he says dim class. Now here, dim class has two meanings. One, the situation that has been presented is dim, and the second thing is that it is not properly lit. But at the back of that class, this young boy who is sitting, he calls it sweet face. The sweetness of the face that signifies that this child is still unaffected by the prevailing condition around him. His eyes are full of dreams. He's thinking of a world beyond. He's thinking of tree houses. He's thinking of squirrel games. He is not limited within the four walls of the classroom or limited in the limits of the slum. Sorry. But he's thinking of a world which is far beyond. Now looking at him, poet feels a ray of hope. Why a ray of hope? Because there are still dreams in the eyes of this child, whereas others have lost the capacity to dream. His eyes are full of dreams, and poet feels that the situation is still not completely out of hand. If there is something done, things can improve. If steps are taken, the things can improve. The second stanza starts with sour cream wall. That sour cream, that signifies the dirty yellowish color. It signifies that the school is in a neglected condition, completely neglected condition. And as it is a slum school, so there are various donations given by the people. And these donations are displayed on the four walls of the classroom. These are a small bust of Shakespeare, a picture, cloudless at dawn, bright morning. Then these civilized cities with their domes, civilized domes, the big cities with their multi-story buildings, and the Tyrolese valley full of beautiful flowers, beautiful scenery, beautiful natural scene over there. But all these things are in a stark, sharp contrast to the prevailing condition of these children. Shakespeare does not have any significance in their life, and the brightness and everything and development and all these things are far away from their life. The open-handed map, which seems to be awarding the world to the world. The map which is there in the classroom, you must have seen a map there in the geography classes. One such map is there hanging in the classroom. And this map seems to be telling to these children that it is giving them the world, awarding the world to them. But the poet says that the world presented by the map is not the world of these slum children. Because this map presents the world of rich and developed. There is no slum on the map. Whereas the world of these children is limited to the foggy slum, miserable slum, where they are living with an uncertain future. Foggy future. Uncertain, painted with fog. Future painted with fog. That is uncertain future that they are living with. The patch of sky, which is visible to the narrow lanes of the slum, it also does not provide any color to their lives, because this patch of sky which is visible is lead sky, dull, colorless, polluted sky. And the beautiful things of the nature, mountains, star, cape, rivers, these are mere words for them, because they have never experienced them. They are far away from all these things. Now, in this stanza, you see a word window. Window with a future painted with fog. Now these windows here, windows such as the limit of the slum. And poet says that the world, the life of these children is limited to these slums only, and they have no way out. Now coming to the third stanza, it starts with an alliteration. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, and map a bad example. Then in the second line you see, son loves ship, and further tempts them to steal. Poet says that Shakespeare and map are bad example for these children, because the stories of Shakespeare present a world which is full of grandeur, luxury, richness, love, and all these things. Map presents a world of rich and developed, whereas the life of these children is limited to the slum where they live a miserable life. And poet feels that if they are continuously exposed to such beautiful things, they may prove to be a temptation for these children, and they may try to get it, achieve it, the things which are far beyond their reach, and in order to achieve them, they may adopt criminal methods. Poet further says that they live in cramped holes. The place where they are living is compared with cramped holes, congested place, not comfortable place. The life slyly turns into their cramped holes. Slyly, cunningly, life is uncertain. Which way it will take them, no one knows that. And when, in that case, if they are exposed to such things which are far beyond their reach, and that those things may prove to be a temptation, and that may divert them, that may deviate them towards criminal means and wrong means and methods to acquire them. Poet further says, the life that slyly turns into the cramped holes from fog to endless night. There is no brightness in their lives. And if you look at there's a question mark. And that question mark actually presents the uncertainty which is prevailing in their lives. They live among the slag heap. Slag. What is slag? Slag is the industrial waste. Now, all this industrial waste, where it is dumped around the slum. Poet wants to say the share of the fruit of the industrial development which comes to these children is nothing but the garbage, the waste. And he wants to also say that the place where they are living is not hygienic. They are living among the garbage. They are so lean and thin that their bone seems to be peeping through their skin. That shows that they are grossly undernourished and malnourished. And they are so lean and thin that their bones are visible on through, it seems that it is just a layer of skin over them. They wear spectacles of steel, like men with the glasses, mended glasses. They have the spectacles of steel, but the glasses are mended glass. The glass, mended glass means repaired glass. And poet has compared this to like bottle bits on stone. Simile has been used. Bottle bits. You must have seen on the walls of many of the boundaries where the glass pieces are put over there for the security reasons. Now these glasses which they are wearing, the spectacle, the glasses which are there, they are mended as if pieces of glasses put together. Now here two things are being pointed out. Firstly, they cannot afford a proper glass. And secondly, they don't have any vision about themselves. Now here, poet seems to be a little bit anguished. He is angered. He feels very disappointed looking at this condition. And what he says, that their entire existence is limited to the foggy slum, miserable slum. There is no way out. And so he feels, so what he says in the end, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. Poet feels that these slums are a shameful blot on the map of civilized society. It is really a shameful thing for the civilized society that the slums exist. He feels that it is a shameful blot. And he feels that something should be done. Something should be done, that there is no existence of slums at all. And this, what he wants to be done, is expressed in stanza number 4, which I told you is an appeal. What he says? Unless governor, inspector, visitor. Now who are these people? These are the powerful people, the people who are in authority, the people who have got authority to do something. He says that unless governor, inspector, visitors, the VIPs who come occasionally to the slums, the ministers, the high-rank politicians, he says that unless this map becomes their window, this map becomes their real world. Which map? The map which seems to be awarding the world to the children. The map which poet feels is representing the world of rich and developed. That world becomes the real world for these children. And these windows. Now, there is another window. You will have to go to the second stanza. Now, in the second stanza, you see these windows. Now, this window here is the limit of slum. First window, poet says, this map becomes their window. It means this map becomes their world. And then in the second line he says, these windows, now this window, this slum, which sit upon their life like catacomb. Poet says that this slum is like a catacomb, a grave, which has enclosed the lives of these children, from where there is no way out. So here we see an urgency from the poet. He says, break open till they break the town. He says that remove all the barriers, create a path so that these children could be taken out from the slum. They could be brought out to the outside world. They could be brought out from that miserable slum. And he shows urgency by saying that to do the things urgently before the things get out of control. Till they break the town. Till the things go beyond control. Before that, some measures, some steps have to be taken. But poet does not want only these children to be brought out of the slum. He wants something more. He says, expose them to the green fields. Expose them to the beauty of the nature. Let them run azure on gold sand. Azure, freely. Let them run freely. Give them the opportunity to move freely towards gold sand, development, prosperity. Let their tongues run naked onto the books. And how can this be done? This can be done only when they are provided with meaningful education. Let their tongues run naked onto the books. Meaningful education. And what will this education do? Green and white leaves open. Now, what are these green and white leaves? Now, many of you will say that prosperity and peace and something like that. No, here green and white, they symbolize prosperity and development. Now, there must be a question in your mind. Why? If you look at the major currencies of the world, and especially dollar, it is green and white. So it represents prosperity and development. Now, how this prosperity and development would come? It would come only when they are provided with meaningful education. Let their tongues run naked onto the books. Meaningful education. And then in the last line, the poet highlights the importance of knowledge. He says, history theirs, whose language is the sun. Now here sun is the light of knowledge. Those who have access to the light of knowledge, they are the only ones who are capable of creating history or changing history. And so that is the reason poet feels that these children should not only be taken out from the slum, but they should be given equal opportunity. They should be given proper opportunity for education, because this education is the only weapon, is the only tool which will help them open the doors of prosperity and development. Now, if you look at the whole poem, firstly, the poet presents the condition, and he presents one by one what is the condition of these children, what is the condition of the classroom, what is the living condition, how deprived they are, burdened they are, malnourished they are, undernourished they have inherited poverty and disease, and there is no brightness in their lives. And he feels that this inequality and injustice, this social inequality and injustice can be only removed by giving proper opportunities to these slum children, so that they could also get proper education and they could also move towards the better world and a better life. And that is what the poet wants for these children. And here is some highlight which I have written on the board. And so I feel you have understood the poem and you will go through it. Thank you. See you again.